3 separate blocks over the course of the season?
Well, it began really out of necessity. It became apparent to us that what ABC was going to do, because they had two things. One, other programming like Christmas specials and things like that. And then also, if you just do the math, we're still one of the few shows that does 22 episodes a season. But even then, if you start in September and you go all the way to May, you're not going to have enough shows if you're going to have new shows every week. And so rather than, because we're doing a serialized show, rather than doing 2 and then having 2 weeks off and then doing 3 and then hoping it comes back at some point.
And it just chops everything up, you know, the storyline gets fragmented and it becomes hard for the audience to really follow and find where things are going.
So the idea that the writers came up with and the showrunners who are not here, Jed Wheaton and Bruce Tancheron and Jeff Bell, came up with this notion, which was, what if we broke them into pods? And we were starting to do some of this in season 3, but in season 4 was the first time that we sort of really openly embraced it. We started with Ghost Rider and we went to L&D, and then we went to Framework, and we found that the audience really liked sort of having a 3-course meal as opposed to a buffet. Look at that! I just
I love it. I love it.
And so I think that was the origin of it.
Yeah.
And then since then we've been trying to make that work. This first pod will be 10, and obviously if you've watched the end of last season, first we discovered that Agent Coulson is in space. We will then shortly thereafter learn that the rest of the team is in space, and where they are and how they're ever going to get back, if they're ever going to get back, why they're there. Yeah. This is the mystery that's going to unfold as we go along. And one of the things that Jed was talking about is that the way the show has always been constructed when the season opens is the audience knows more than the team does. So using Ghost Rider as an example, you saw Ghost Rider. You actually knew that he was Robbie. You watched him go home. You learned about his life. And then they had to catch up to that. This is the first time they've ever told a story where the audience and the team are both unraveling the mystery of what's happened to them and what's going to happen to them side by side. So you get to go on the adventure with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in space.
I'm not sure if this is accurate, but I thought that I had heard that last year, because it's the later time frame, you could go a little darker, and there was a very strong reaction to that. Did you feel that?
You mean the time slot?
Yeah, I'm sorry, the time slot. The 10 o'clock time slot.
We did. I don't think that it's changed us. I think, if anything, being on Friday night sort of gives us the same kind of latitude. So certainly, at least what we've seen so far, the show maintains the same tone and temper that it was last season.
And I think the audience...
If you liked last season, you'll love this season.
Yeah, I think and our audience has grown with us in the 5 years as well, and they do like the dark element of it, because the reviews we were getting last season just, was so positive, and our audience was enjoying the pod so much. And I think having a beginning, a middle, and an end to each segment and having an accelerated story arc helped us to focus on each character during those adventures, as well as for the writers to be able to really focus on a particular storyline, as opposed to trying to stretch it out over 22 episodes, which is, would drag things out a little bit more.
And you guys are going to be celebrating your 100th episode this season, yeah?
We are. We're very proud. Not a lot of shows get to do that.
Do you guys have anything special planned? Yeah.
We're going to get a big cake.
You get syndication.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we can have our cake and eat it too. Yes. Oh, I love all this food reference.
Look, we're very, very proud of the show. We're very happy with ABC's decision to keep us going, and the incredible support that they've shown us. And so, I think the audience is sophisticated enough to know that when you have a 100th episode, there will be something significant that will happen. And the truth of the matter is the actors don't even know what is coming.
We're the last to know, actually. We get our script like literally the day before we shoot the episode, practically. So it's always a big surprise, you know.
And some of you don't even read it then.
Who would that be?
You just like the surprise of it all.
I love the surprise of it all.
Can you tease at all who we might run into? Space Sword seems like an obvious choice because Joss created Sword in the comics, and they're out there.
It won't be Sword.
Okay.
And I think the easiest answer to that is that Sword was created as part of the X-Men group, and I think as we all now know, under the things that we had nothing to do with ACT, Sword falls under the X-Men group, and so. But there might be fun references to things whatever we can get away with, we'll get away with. We're S.H.I.E.L.D. We'll still be the heavyweight champion of the Marvel TV universe.
Will you bring the Inhumans onto S.H.I.E.L.D. at some point?
It's not out of the question. It's just not something that's certainly planned right now. I think one of the things that we've been very open about is that it's, we like things to get settled. We like to get the audience to know who these characters are. It's certainly one of the things that we did on the shows that we do for Netflix. People asked us whether or not some of those characters were going to intermix with each other. We said, look, get to know them, and then when we do Defenders, you'll get to see them interact with one another. And so, our goal right now is to tell this first arc of being in space, and then what happens with the Inhumans is what's happening on their show, which will have completed their cycle when we start ours.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Get a quick picture of
Yeah.
everyone.
All right.